How's it going?
Good, how are you?
Great. So
introduce yourself to the folks.
Well, I'm Keith McHenry, the founder of Food Not Bombs, and I'm out here in front of the White House baking bread in a solar oven. And we're doing it for 6 items, which are kind of climate change related in some ways and human rights related. One is universal health care for everyone. When I feed the hungry in cities all over America, half the people are homeless because they had a health crisis and they foreclosed and ended up on the streets. Also to free Leonard Peltier, who is in prison because they were going to strip mine the Pine Ridge Reservation for coal and uranium, and he went there to help the people. An FBI agent ended up shooting 2 of his friends, and Leonard got convicted, and he was put in prison for 2 life sentences. Then there's also solar energy collectors for every house, passenger trains to every city, organic gardening classes for every school, and a global ceasefire to pay for everything that we really need here in America. And we can see that all of our problems that we're having are because of cover-ups like 9/11. It's the same exact thing, where they told us we can't have solar because it's impossible. They tell us that Osama bin Laden from a cave brings down the World Trade Towers. How is that possible? So there's one lie after another that is causing the crisis that we have here in the United States.
So you're basically saying that you're with Al-Qaeda?
Yeah, that's what they said. We just had some kids saying that. Because, yeah, we're questioning the logic between cave people on dialysis to be able to take down tall buildings with a single plane.
Dialysis machines come standard in caves. You didn't know that?
I hope so, because they need solar for that, for sure. So it's a really crazy situation, and that's why we're out here. And Food Not Bombs feeds people in 1,000 cities of the world, and we know firsthand what the cause of no health care for people is. We know firsthand this frustration that people have. They can't pay their power bills. We know that, you know, Trailways is gone, Greyhound barely goes anywhere, so people could go on trains. We've been on trains in other countries, they're just beautiful. And we've also met and seen and worked with many people that are the victims of wars. So right now, because of 9/11, there's wars in Pakistan, Afghanistan, and Iraq. Who knows what other wars of terror are going to happen using the excuse of 9/11 as the reason. And so that impacts us today. It's not just nearly 3,000 people dying on September 11th, 2001 that's a problem. It's a problem because our people are dying right now. Innocent people are dying right now. And so we come out here every day and bake bread in a solar oven in front of the White House to show that we can make a difference and to call on Obama to really start changing things around, start addressing these issues.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. You got some people in prison now, don't you?
Yeah, the Food Not Bombs, there's a number, about 20 Food Not Bombs kids are in prison under the war on terrorism. One good friend of mine, Eric McDavid, is doing 19 years and 6 months. He has about 18 years and 6 months left to do. In each of the cases, what happened was our group was infiltrated by FBI. They pretended to be Food Not Bombs activists. They started talking about doing violence to, like, in the case of Eric, it was a dam. In case of the 8 Food Not Bombs activists in Minneapolis, they said we were going to attack Republicans. And it's always the FBI saying they're going to attack somebody. Then they end up saying, well, at the Food Not Bombs meeting, somebody said they were going to attack somebody. Or they try to get them to bomb a dam or burn a logging, a lumber mill down, something like that. Ends up the only people involved are the FBI, but our people get framed and go to prison. I lost one close friend, Bill Rogers, committed suicide in Coconino County Prison and county jail in Flagstaff, Arizona, about a week after he was arrested and charged with trying to do an act of terror, which in the end, after his death, was discovered it was the FBI, just like every case.
Do you think it was a real suicide, or was he suicided, do you think?
This is very unclear. There's one belief that he just committed suicide to take the power away from the government. Although it was like, supposedly the way he died was by tying a plastic bag around his head, which many people think is suspicious.
I don't think you can do that.
Yeah, a lot of people. Now, in my case, I spent like 2 years in jail for feeding people. I faced 25 years to life. I was like clubbed between the eyes. People that know these kind of things said when that cop clubbed me between the eyes, that was to take me out. The guy that bailed me out of jail, David Nadell, was killed in a mysterious murder by supposedly a young Mexican man that was angry about not being able to take Russian dancing lessons and who escaped in front of 2 police officers to Mexico.
That happens all the time.
Yeah, so these things are very mysterious. And another friend of mine, Michael Taylor, was captured in his kitchen in East LA, taken to railroad tracks, had his hands tied behind his back, was shot in the back of the head.
That was suicide for
and
sure.
That was another suicide. So
yeah,
you keep getting these mysterious suicides.
Absolutely.
It's very weird. So there's like, when you look at the reality, like in my case, for San Francisco Food Not Bombs, there was a man, they had 3 shifts of cops who dressed just like me. We eventually got videotape of them. They would do crimes, and then I would get arrested for the crimes that they did.
No kidding.
And so if they're on that level about people serving free food, saying money should go to food and not to bombs, why wouldn't they be interested in such a thing as a plot to take down the Twin Towers and to blame it on some enemy and therefore even do away with more of our liberties?
What happened with the Food Not Bombs activists at the Republican convention? I heard that some people were picked up.
Yeah, they raided our house. We had 3 houses. One we owned. One of the Food Not Bombs volunteers owned one of the houses, and then other volunteers rented 2 others. The FBI, Homeland Security, and the Ramsey County Sheriff's Department SWAT team broke in the day before the Republican National Convention and arrested dozens of people, in the end charging 8 with the Patriot Act. Now the Patriot Act charges have been dropped to felony terrorism charges that are not related to the Patriot Act. But they were in jail for quite some time. It took us a while to bail them out. It turned out 5 people had joined, Ramsey County Sheriff's Department and FBI had joined Food Not Bombs a year before the Republican convention and had gone to meetings and said we should firebomb the Republicans when they come on their buses and so on. The warrant says that volunteers at the meeting said they should firebomb the Republicans. And you could see that it was exactly what the infiltrators were saying.
It wasn't actually the Food Not Bombs people, but the infiltrators that were saying this, and then they charged the activists with it.
Correct. It was the reality was that the FBI and Ramsey County sheriffs were talking about these crimes. Our people were laughing about it, thinking it was a joke, not taking it seriously, until the day before the Republican National Convention, when guys with machine guns started coming through all the windows and doors.
Dang.
And taking everybody out.
Yeah.
We're really fortunate no one got hurt. But,
and they're all out of jail now?
And they're out of jail in waiting trial.
Oh, they still got to go trial.
We've been going through court after court appearance, and they're still waiting trial. We have like some kids that are in prison in Washington State, in Oregon, California. We also had some kids that were arrested as early as '88 on terrorism charges in Long Island. That family was bankrupt. That was Connor Cash. He was doing a literature table and feeding people in Long Island. The FBI arrested him and 4 other younger people than him, minors. They threatened the minors with life in prison if they didn't say Connor did burn down some model homes in the swamp. Turned out that none of them were involved in it. They were just threatened by the FBI. It was the same thing. Infiltrators burned down some buildings, blamed it on Food Not Bombs.
So let's take a look at this dangerous bread you're baking here, okay?
Okay, we got this terrorism bread, of course.
This is the terrorism bread here?
Yeah, we
whoa, man!
Every day
you can hurt a lot of people with that.
This bread, it's got a lot of yeast. You just don't know what might happen. I put a tablespoon in every day.
My goodness!
So we come out here every day with this bread, and We started at try to start at 11 o'clock. Today we might have been about 12, something like that. We cook it. It's almost about ready, I would say.